Whispers Around the World, a Heal Our World book from SufferingWell. Chapter 14, Signs of Hope. Fred clicked into the Zoom call, adjusting his camera as he settled into a chair in his cozy cruise cabin. A moment later, Ken's face appeared on the screen, a wide grin spreading across his face. "Fred, great to see you again," Ken said, leaning back comfortably, a stack of books visible with the cereal boxes on the shelf behind him. "You too, Ken. Glad we could make this work," Fred replied, giving him a friendly wave. "I have to say, it's been a long time since I met someone who has as many stories to tell as I do." Ken chuckled. "Well, you're talking to a guy who once lived out of a backpack for 5 years in Central America, so I know a thing or two about adventure." He raised an eyebrow, gesturing around Fred's room. "But I have to say, you're the first person I know who actually lives on a cruise ship." Fred laughed, nodding. "Yeah, I suppose it's a bit unconventional. Rhonda and I figured, why not? We've seen more places in a few years than most people see in a lifetime, and it's cheaper than a mortgage and upkeep on a house. We feel pretty blessed to be able to do it." Ken leaned forward, a gleam of excitement in his eyes. "You know, I used to teach sailing. It's always been my dream to sail the routes St. Paul traveled through his missionary journeys. Can you imagine sailing those same waters where he faced storms and shipwrecks, reflecting on the places he spread the gospel?" Fred's eyes widened, clearly intrigued. "Ken, that sounds incredible. Almost like a modern pilgrimage at sea, retracing the path of one of the great apostles. I've never thought of anything like that, but I'm fascinated. Have you thought about actually making it happen?" Ken chuckled, nodding. "Oh, I've thought about it plenty. There's something about it that it calls to me. Maybe one day I'll do it. If nothing else, it's a beautiful dream." Fred leaned back, clearly enchanted by the idea. "I'd sign up for that trip in a heartbeat. A spiritual adventure on the open water. I'd say you're on to something special there, Ken." They shared a knowing smile, and the conversation turned to tales of their travels and the easy camaraderie of newfound friendship. Fred shared that he and Rhonda were considering taking a break from their cruise and spending a few months in the same town as Mary Ellen. They were both taken with her, and Fred felt that this new friendship would be especially good for Rhonda. He had a sad look in his eyes, and Ken wondered if there were more to the story, but he decided not to ask and to allow Fred to share when he felt it best. Ken opened up about the wife he'd lost to a disease the doctors were unable to diagnose, and how that had led to his wanderlust. "I may have been trying to escape the sorrow," Ken admitted, "but eventually it became a career, teaching sailing and managing a sail shop. I had a very close friend who supplied the shop with sweaters. He even did custom-made sweaters where he knit a picture of a person's boat into the front of the sweater." Fred was about to say how wonderful and unique that was when he sensed that there was more. "We sailed together every chance we had. He taught me to study the Bible and to find ways to serve others. He died in a terrible car accident almost 6 years ago. His sudden death, following close on the heels of my wife's death, threw me into a tailspin. I retired early and just sat in a daze. I'm only now coming out of it, and I'm ready to sail again." Fred felt a sense of awe at what his new friend was hiding behind his jocular personality. He shook his head, wondering if he could share with Ken about Rhonda, but thought best of it. It wasn't his to share. Each man found himself inspired by the other's unique journey and the resilience they saw in each other, grateful for this unexpected connection that had sparked dreams and the promise of future adventures. "I can't quite explain it," Rhonda Mary Ellen confessed one evening during a Zoom call, "but it's like God is planting a love for Sri Lanka in my heart. Every time I read about it, I feel this pull. I want to go there, to meet the people and see it with my own eyes. I even started learning a few phrases in Sinhala, just to feel a bit more connected." She laughed softly, as if embarrassed by her enthusiasm. but Rhonda's encouraging smile reminded her that it was okay to dream big. Mary Ellen hesitated, glancing down as if embarrassed by her own words. It sounds a bit silly, I know, she admitted, her cheeks flushing faintly. But when I watch videos or read about Sri Lanka, I feel this incredible warmth, like God's nudging me closer every time. I can't escape the thought that maybe he's preparing me for something. Her voice softened, and she glanced back up at the screen, where Rhonda's expression was filled with understanding, her eyes twinkling with encouragement. It's like God's whispering an invitation to step out of my comfort zone, and I actually want to listen. Rhonda's smile widened as she moved closer to her screen, her presence somehow feeling tangible even across the miles. It doesn't sound silly at all, Mary Ellen. God has a way of planting dreams in our hearts that grow in unexpected ways. Look at Fred and me, she chuckled. I never imagined spending my retirement on cruise ships, but here we are, traveling and finding blessings at every port. Sri Lanka sounds beautiful, and if you feel called there, maybe it's God's leading nudge, urging you to trust him. Encouraged by Rhonda's words, Mary Ellen's confidence grew. I started practicing some simple phrases like hello and thank you in Sinhala. It's slow going, but there's a beauty to the language that I can't resist. I want to be able to greet the people in their own words, even if I stumble through it. She laughed, imagining herself tripping over her newly learned words. But every phrase brings me closer, even from here. I feel like I'm connecting in some small way. Rhonda's face lit up with admiration. That's so wonderful, Mary Ellen. And learning the language, what a loving gesture. It shows your heart's already reaching out to the people there. You know, sometimes the act of learning, of just trying, is all it takes to touch someone's heart. If God's calling you, it's for a reason, and he'll open doors, maybe even some unexpected ones. Mary Ellen sighed, feeling a peaceful sense of reassurance. Thank you, Rhonda. It's comforting to have someone to share this with, someone who understands what it's like to follow these nudges that might seem random to others. I'm going to keep praying, see where he leads me, but maybe one day I'll find myself in Sri Lanka, and if I do, I'll have you to thank for helping me believe it was possible. Donna settled into the cozy armchair in Audrey and Patricia's living room, taking in the comforting surroundings. Sunlight streamed through the window, casting a toasty glow on the table set with sandwiches, fresh fruit, and tea. Audrey poured her a cup, then sat down beside her while Patricia took the seat across, a smile lighting up her face. Thank you both for inviting me, Donna said, reaching for a cucumber sandwich. This is lovely. It's so nice to get to know you better. We're thrilled to have you, Audrey replied, her eyes twinkling. It's been a joy meeting others in the community. Actually, speaking of the community, there's something we'd like to share with you. Oh yes, Patricia jumped in. I nearly forgot. We wanted to invite you to join a group we're in. It's called Heal Our World. HOW for short. Heal Our World. Get it? HOW. How? We get together on Zoom every week. Donna was almost dizzy, looking from one to the other so quickly. She laughed, catching their excitement. Each of us has chosen a country to pray for, Patricia explained. There are groups all over the country, maybe even all over the world. Oh, Donna's eyes opened widely. I would love to do that. Praying is one of my deepest joys. Do I choose just any country? I've been interested in Myanmar lately. Yes, you can choose any country, Audrey answered. There's a list on the SufferingWell website where you can sign up. If someone else has already signed up for Myanmar, you can add your name to theirs, or if you want, choose a country that's still up for grabs. Audrey reached over to a small notepad on the table, scribbling down the Zoom link for the meeting. We'd love for you to join us sometime. Here, you can use this link to log in. Donna took the paper, her face lighting up with interest. Thank you. This sounds exactly like what I've been looking for. Since I retired, I've been searching for ways to stay connected, to do something that matters. Oh, hey, some of the group are going to go prayer walking this Saturday. Patricia knew this would be perfect for Donna. Prayer walking sounds neat. Are you going? No, we aren't, but you're still welcome to go. I'm pretty sure Audrey will be writing down that information too. You're not too shy to go without us, are you? Donna grinned. Not at all. She took the paper Audrey offered. Okay, I'll be at the prayer walk and I'll show up on Zoom. Thanks. Patricia's eyes sparkled. What do you enjoy doing now that you are retired? Well, Donna began, I've always loved to write, but I find that with my time so open-ended now, it's harder to settle down and focus on anything too long or too complicated. Audrey and Patricia exchanged a glance, each smiling knowingly. Patricia leaned forward, an idea forming. Funny you mentioned that. We've been thinking of adding little letters from angels in our angel craft kits for children and adults. We wanted these letters to teach people about angels, to bring some comfort, but neither of us is much of a writer. Donna's eyes widened with excitement. Would you like me to help with that? I'd be honored to write letters for kids. Sounds like the perfect way to share my love of writing and faith. Audrey clapped her hands together, her face glowing. Donna, that would be wonderful. We've been praying about this idea, and now it feels like God has brought us together for a reason. The three women discussed the details, brainstorming what each letter might include, a message of hope, a bit about the biblical role of angels, and a reminder of God's presence and love. The hours slipped by, filled with laughter and animated conversation, as they planned how to bring their vision to life. As the evening approached, they stood together at the doorway, each feeling a sense of joy and anticipation. They hugged amiably, and Donna smiled, feeling a newfound sense of purpose. Thank you both for today. I'm so excited to be part of this. So are we, Patricia replied, her voice filled with friendship. This is only the beginning of something special. Audrey nodded, waving as Donna stepped outside. We can't wait to see where this leads. Welcome to the team, Donna. Patricia ran down the walkway, scooping up Abby, who had followed Donna. She gave Donna another quick hug, then carried the wayward cat back inside. As she walked away, Donna's heart felt light. She knew she had found not only new friends, but also a way to blend her passions with a purpose, all in the comforting company of kindred spirits.